Quick disclaimer, these are my personal opinions regarding the FFX of a heavyweight savage tier. I've been playing this game since the end of Stormblood, which means I have thousands of hours rating in this game at this point, so of course my opinions will be skewed. This isn't meant to be an attack, I'm simply going to look at the mechanics and compare them to previous floors. Specifically, I chose the Anabaseios tier because it was also the final tier of the Pandemonium raid series. I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so let's get into it here. Basically what I'm going to do is just watch through these videos of my own clears. Just going to compare the mechanics of M9S Femme Fatale to P9S Cocky Toss. I'm going to do the whole series on this, so I'm going to do the entire tier. And I just want to see how I feel about it, because I know how I feel about the tier in general, but I want to see how I feel when I actually compare them side by side. Okay, so as usual, we just start with a Tank Buster. I'm pretty sure every fight will do this. Tank Buster rewides some formation to this. So yeah, I guess this is the first mechanic. I have no idea if there's some semblance to... Well, I mean, it's obvious. They just rotate around. You have to be spread from your other players. I mean, it's just dodge. Not really much to see. Then we have an Ockmorn style stack. And I guess this is the first real mechanic, if you can even call it that. And this is sort of where the recurring theme of the tier first appears. This mechanic to me felt very unfinished, but I guess, you know, I'll just go look at Cocky Toss and compare what I see in that fight. But I mean, even in normal mode, there were spreads and light party stacks here. We actually predicted they would be in this phase with her kicking, but it was just the kicks, and they removed the spreads. This is kind of just a nothing mechanic, honest, if I'm being honest. So how far in are we? This started at 152. I guess I'll pause at the end of this mechanic, and I'll pause every 2 minutes and sort of go look at the other half. So the mechanic's over, it just enrages if you don't kill it soon after this. So let's look at Cocky Toss. Let's see what Cocky Toss does in the first 2 minutes. I think maybe I'll speed this up. This does a bit slow. So keep in mind I'm watching this on 1.25 speed. So it starts with a raid wide. Typical. Kind of doing nothing here. I mean, he doesn't really do much. Okay, so it's a pairs mechanic. And he does the other variation, which is spread. And the final variation can be done in any order if I remember correctly, or some other order, I don't remember. Now we're actually 2 minutes in here as well. So both bosses kinda did nothing, which isn't that surprising. I mean, it is a first floor, like, let's be real. I would still say Cocky Toss did a little bit more, because this boss kind of literally did nothing. Yeah, she's still kind of just doing nothing. stop in another minute and look at the other fight again. This is like, I guess, kind of the first big mechanic. Of course, this is our initial clear, so we kind of just spread and like dodged. I know the mechanic now is just being resolved, like you stand between markers or on the pie slices, each player just drops theirs on the wall and then the middle is safe. So like, again, I would consider this kind of just a nothing mechanic, because like, yeah, you literally just drop it on the wall and then dodge in the middle, which isn't even a dodge, just, yeah, it's... Alright, this was on OS. Yeah, we had to go to OS, but I'm not going to let that affect my opinion, of course. It's not fair. Yeah, so we're coming up to the minute here. I guess I'll stop at the next transition. Okay, so she's just doing this again. It's the same mechanic, but the arena's a little smaller. Of course, this can be bigger if she has more failure stacks. The debuff up at the top here. I don't remember what the number is. So how far in are we now? We're 4.5 minutes in. It's just a raid wide. Okay, now it's coming up to the next big mechanic, I guess. I mean, this is, I guess, the big mechanic of the fight. So we're about 5 minutes in. Go back to Kakitos. Let's see what's happened by 5 minutes in. 2 minutes in currently. So he's doing this other mechanic he has. So I guess this is the Aether letting equivalent. But then he does this, which is front or rear as well. So it's a pair knockback and front and rear while these are going off. I mean, it's just not even close, right? Like, this is just much better. And then he does like a light part or something later. Oh, no, it must be later. How far in are we now? We're 3 minutes in. So by this point, Vamp Fatale has basically just done kicks and players drop AoEs on the wall. And Kakitos has done pairs, spread, knockback into pairs with a boss plus arena dodge. Okay, and now is the big mechanic of Kakitos, which is the limit cut, and this is 4 minutes in? Yes, this is 4 minutes in. Yeah. I mean, this mechanic is far more complicated than anything in Vamp Fatale. It's very easy for an ice to wipe the party. It's very easy for a fire to wipe the party. If you miss a tower, you're probably going to wipe. Okay. Yeah, I was supposed to take this over. It doesn't matter, though. Then we have this, and more people die, yeah, because it's so punishing. We still get through it, though. Are we at 5 minutes yet? We're coming up to the 5 minute mark now. Sorry, how far did I pause here? 156. This is 5 minutes in, yeah. Okay, so this is happening at the same time as Kakitos Meteors. I mean, this is one example that I think they've shifted their design philosophy, because this is obviously like a lot more dodge, fast pace. This is probably a better mechanic. This is definitely a better mechanic in reclears compared to the Kakitos Meteors mechanic we'll see in a second. But Something I forgot to mention during the ads phase before with the saws is, again here, this boss kind of just throws this doornail ad on the arena, just seemingly out of nowhere. I don't know when it enrages. I assume like if she does a raid wide or something and you don't kill it by then, it's a punishing mechanic. I have no idea though. I know this doesn't even like infinitely grow. It like stops at some point. Which is like, this is like my first big problem with the tier is like, it feels very unfinished. Like this mechanic doesn't even make sense where the doornails came from. Like it's kind of the same as normal. I mean, it is like actually just the same as normal, right? Except they put the doornail there. Yeah. I mean, it just feels weird. But I mean, let's keep watching. Actually, I'll pause here and watch the next mechanic of Cocktails since they are supposedly equivalent, I suppose. So you have the Meteor mechanic coming up. So there's Charybdis. It's just to prevent you from using the entire arena. This is just to show you which comets you can't drop it on. Here we have some proximity Protean baits. We chose to put it on DPS, and then the supports are also baiting a stack. They have to choose these broken rocks because we need both of these rocks. And then they swap. And then he picks one of the safe rocks and we have to use the other one. That's why we need both of them. And that's basically the end of the mechanic. So this is 6 minutes in. And this is also a little over 6 minutes in. I'll watch for another 30 seconds here just to see. So he's going to do this mechanic again. It's going to do a buster and then knockbacks into pairs, into the front or rear combination. But I assume Vamp Fatale probably does the same thing. This guy does the caveat of doing his other mechanic combined basically very quickly after this one resolves, which is a nice touch. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Let's see what Vamp Fatale did. What the boss HP is, Kakitos was a bit higher. You probably can't even see it, but I mean, my quality was a lot worse in that other VOD. Okay, so she's not doing anything. What has he done? We're now 7 minutes in, a little over. So here's Hell in a Cell. And again, this mechanic is very weird, right? Because as you can see here, we just stacked south. Well, I turned my camera, but we just always put the stack south. Because it doesn't matter if you cleave someone in the jail as long as you have enough mitigation. I don't know how much we had, but like it should kill the person. I don't know. I don't see why it doesn't kill the person. Obviously, you just aim the big cleave for spread towards the wider open area. Because you can't cleave them with the tank thing, obviously. But anything else is fine, I think. And then we just stack. We're coming up to 8 minutes in soon. And then I guess this is the last mechanic, right? This is Undead Deathmatch, which is kind of just Proteans. We walk around the arena and then the bats do a dynamo or chariot. I think I'll just watch to the end here. By the end of this, I can stop the video after this mechanic because she doesn't do anything else. So then we see the bats resolve. It can be dynamo or chariot as far as I know. And then the bat can go in either direction. So yeah, we're kind of just moving. Not really any thought. I think that's basically the end of the fight, if I remember correctly. She doesn't really do anything else. Okay, so there's another one of these, but this is like the same as Kaki does at this point, like it's just repeating, which is fine. And then I believe we have The Soften Rage. Yes, so it's just Soften Rage. That's the end of the fight. But this guy has another big mechanic still. He has the other limit cut. I think it's easier than the previous one in my opinion, but I think all we did was send the rest of the party to 4. And I think we just sacked the 4 guy maybe. Something like that. So then he kicks. Yeah, so the way this mechanic works is only 4 players get targeted. The rest bait the stack, the proximity stack, and then he does a kick baited on the closest. And then he does this pair thing again. We just tank somebody through it, which is, you know, this is pretty typical. Like, they never make it that hard. And that's about it in this fight. Like, he just repeats mechanics after. So what do we have? We have 2 limit cuts plus meteors compared to the Saw phase plus Hell in a Cell. And then we compare his pairs spread variation mechanic with frontal combination, rear combination with the ground AoEs compared to her bats / aether letting, I guess. I mean, she only does aether letting once. Which is kind of weird. Interestingly enough, I think this fight is more similar to like Ericthonios or something, because like you really don't get punished for literally anything. Obviously, if you don't meet these checks, you probably die, but like there's no mechanic. You just kill them, like you just hit them. You could even LB if you wanted to, if you were like dying, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much to say here. I mean, my verdict is that Kakitos is like a way better fight, right? But maybe this is just my personal opinion. Maybe this fight is better to re-clear, but only because of this phase in particular. Everything else I think is kind of just nothing. Yeah, I gotta give the win to Kakitos here. It's like not even close, right? It's just not even close. You have to use your brain way more. It's way more punishing. Yeah, this mechanic is way more complex than anything in Vamp Fatale. Okay, I mean, I've seen enough here. The W goes to Kakitos. It's just a much better fight, right? Like, it's not close. Kakitos feels complete as well, whereas Vamp Fatale, I mean, she does Aether Lighting once, never again. She kind of just adds a random add to a normal phase. The Saw phase, the first transition, the Saw phase, she just kicks and removed a mechanic from normal mode, which is odd. She could have done some animation that shows pairs or light parties or something similar to M10 during that mechanic. I think it's fine, and then the phase would be fine, but they did not do that. Yeah, that's my conclusion here. I'm giving the W to Kakitos. Far better fight. So again, I'm going to do these in a series. Next up is 10. We're going to compare Pandemonium to the Extreme Brettlers. Look forward to that one. I think I'll release them every day. And also I'll just mention here at the end, I'm going to make a video about sort of some progression tips on how I play, what I think is good habits, thought process, maybe things like that. If it helps anyone, you know, it's worth posting. So I think it'll be fun. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Sort of look back at these two comparisons. Look forward to the next one. Sub, like, whatever you want. Let me know what your thoughts are on it. If you like Vamp Fatale better, let me know, and why you think it's better. And yeah, have a good one.